Grid Legends is the fifth installment in the Grid franchise, developed by Codemasters and published by Electronic Arts. The game is scheduled to be released for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. It includes also a 10-hour playable trial via EA Access if you've got that as well. This is Grid's largest game to date, has 120 plus cars, 130 routes with new locations including London or Moscow, with even more cars and routes coming via DLC over the course of the next 12 months. Upon loading the game for the first time, you'll be thrown into an induction that sets up the new story mode in Grid Legends, following in its footsteps of Codemasters' other racing games such as F1 2021. It's not a needed addition, but it's welcome nonetheless. The story mode follows a struggling team looking for a new driver after several racers couldn't live up to the job.
We'll get there. I promise.
Using real life actors, that has at times looked convincing and others look cheap and non-realistic. Just the small little details such as wearing like normal clothes, like normal casual clothes during like an interview about like a struggling team, like it's just unrealistic. You would expect to be wearing obviously your team's uniform. Yeah, but the closing interviews are sort of unrealistic at times, that they don't feel real, but there's some acting in the story mode that does look and feel real. Like it does look like it could have came from a documentary or a series. There are points that could pass as if it was real, but it's nothing special, nor anything that I don't think anyone would get hooked on or even remember, to be honest. Each story mission has an objective, which is usually something straightforward like finish 8 or above. It's pretty basic in that aspect as well. Moving on from story mode, you have your traditional career mode where you can either start from the big leagues or from the ground up, competing in events in different competitions and modes to progress out of the lower ranks and then into the next stage as you rise to dominate world racing. This feels pretty repetitive and meaningless. When entering an event, if you don't have the right car for that said event, you can rent a car which will cost you half your race earnings and won't progress towards upgrades to that car until you actually own it. There are plenty of different events which are circuit, drift, electric, elimination, head-to-head, multi-class which allows you to race with different classes and specs, time attack and time trials. There is plenty to keep you busy in Grid Legends. Moving on to gameplay now, the biggest issue with Grid Legends in my opinion is the car gameplay. Although the game runs smooth with no drops in frames, which I experienced in 20 hours of my playtime, cars feel light and don't really pack a punch. A muscle car should feel heavy and struggle at high speed corners, but here every type of car feels light and unbalanced, just squeezing the brake and throw your car into the sidewall. Now I have come from realistic racing sim, so I never expected this to be perfect, but for an arcade racer I expected the cars to be at least relatively smooth and balanced. Playing on hard difficulty level settings, I found the races to be easy to win. I never felt like I might have to be on top of my game to actually win. The AI had no real aggression. It felt as if I was on easy the whole time. I'm hoping this is something that they can patch in a future update. The only challenge I experienced was when I was playing with full damage turned on and trying to avoid contact with everyone pretty much, trying to avoid cars that crashed into tunnels or on a corner when I'm at full speed. They were the points that I did feel like I was challenged. I much more enjoyed the game once I had full damage and no flashbacks turned on. It made me play more professional, knowing that you can be out of the race in a split second, parts falling off the car, tyres blowing out. This is the type of game that I'm invested in. Graphics now. Grid Legend looks good, and the reflections from the sun, the rain and the night all looks really, really good. Obviously nothing on par with Forza Horizon 5, but you don't have time to stop and admire the car and the scenery here. It looks good and smooth for what it is. Cars look realistic. Also not too many pop-ins, which was alright. The last thing you want to see is things popping in at high speed. It just makes the game overall look really bad, but this did have slight pop-ins, but nothing really serious. I don't think hardly most people would notice them. Grid Legends is an okay game that does suffer from unbalanced cars, repetitive career mode, a story mode that doesn't feel realistic and doesn't hook, to play it in. On the other hand, the game is smooth and does look really, really good in all types of conditions. With a few adjustments, a few updates to the AI and the car gameplay, this could be much, much better. As for now, it's hard to recommend this game, so I recommend waiting for a sale, or potentially it might come to Xbox Game Pass or something like that very soon. In that case, I would recommend waiting. This is a 50-50 game. I think it's a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10 out of push, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. As always, if you did enjoy this review, then please do leave a like and comment and tell me what you think of Grid Legends. Obviously, it's subjective. You might have a different opinion. You might really love the game, or you might really, really hate the game. Who knows? Let me know down in the comments. And just to let everyone know that I'm using a new rating system now. So I'll be rating games out of 10, and red would mean like really, really bad. Orange is sort of 50-50, sort of okay, could be better. Green is obviously perfect. So yeah, look out for them. That's my new rating system. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Peace out.